Isn't it, do you guys ever find it like does this happen to y'all where, you know, if you're annoyed one day or maybe you're stressed out, it seems like
Yes.
everything
every day of my life.
There's more?
Yeah. Like, you know, when you like walk in the room and something gets caught on the doorknob, like whether it's like a grocery bag or something you're bringing, that never happens when I'm in a good mood. Like stuff like that never happens. I never walk in and something gets stuck on the door or I stub my toe when I'm in a good mood. Why does it always happen when you're in a bad mood?
Does it just stick out to you?
Yeah, it probably.
No, I'm just telling you, it doesn't happen because I'll still be like, man, that hurt. You know, like the other day, I was stressed out. Me and Rita had talked about where to put the puppy's food and water bowl inside the house because the place she wanted it, every time I'd bend over to fill it up and lift up, I'd hit my head on one of the cabinets, like just like where it is. So I was like, hey, why don't we put it to this other area? And she was like, no, I like it in this area. So I'm like, I told her, I was like, look, when I actually hit my head hard on this thing, I'm gonna be upset. So sure enough, week and a half ago, we were talking about something, I think it was like somewhat serious, and I bent down, I filled the dish up full of water for Millie and the other dogs, and I leaned down and I leaned back up really quick, and man, I hit my head right on the corner of these cabinets, to the point where it drew blood out of my head. Like, no, I wasn't gushing blood. It wasn't like a World War I situation. But like, I was bleeding. I was not happy about it. Like, let's just say the dish might have got dropped. There may have been some water in there. I may have stormed out in the backyard saying, I told you I knew I was right. Then instantly knew I'd made a mistake when I was in the backyard, collected myself, came back in, apologized. Hashtag fiance of the year.
Well, I'm just glad you lived.
I'm glad I lived too. It'd be really tough for me to do this show dead. We'd find a way.
You would do it.
Well, I'd do it. We'd find a way. Still trying to get Abe Lincoln to come on here.
Yeah, I don't think he's
never
coming
get
on,
him.
guys. I don't think he's coming on. I tried. He's a hard guy to book. He's a hard guy.
What did you say that one day? You're like, hey guys, I got an answer from Abe Lincoln's team on him.
Yeah, he's dead.
Yeah, he's dead.
Why is he letting that stop him?
I don't know.
Look,
I don't know. I didn't think he'd have any quitter in him, but
everybody has an excuse.
there's some quitter in him.
Everybody has an excuse.
Oh, man.
Aaron Judge passes Roger Maris for the most home runs in an American League season. The Atlanta Braves clinch the NL East, and Kenny Pickett will make his first start for the Pittsburgh Steelers. I'm Jake Crane. It's Wednesday, and we have football tonight. Welcome to Crane & Company. Last night, the Atlanta Braves locked up the NL East, as we predicted on this show, after hawking down the Mets, who held a 10.5 game lead as of June 1st. Now, the Braves' dominance over this division is staggering. It's their 5th straight division crown, and their 17th in the last 28 seasons. Now, most people today will be talking about the Mets' collapse, and while it was the 3rd largest blown division lead ever, the real story is it wasn't as much about the Mets collapsing as it was about the Braves thriving. In the last 4 months, the Braves played at a 114-game winning pace and went 78-33. To put that in perspective, the Mets went 64-44 since June 1st and still lost that 10.5 game lead. The Braves won 100 games for the first time since 2003. They only won 88 last year in their World Series season. And they clinched the division the day before the last game of the regular season, which means they literally had no time to spare. Now, this team has the potential to win back-to-back World Series, but that isn't the scariest part about the Braves organization right now. The most dangerous part about them isn't the past or even the present. It's the future. They are doing this with young talent and a GM that makes better moves than Bobby Fischer on a chessboard. You look at Acuna, Harris, Riley, Strider, Fried, Grissom, Wright, Albies, Soroka. I mean, the Atlanta front office has locked up many of these guys, and while there are always some departures, the core quality of this team would make even Tony Stark blush. Now, who knows if the Bravos will take home the title again this year, but we do know this: they are here to stay for a long while. And also, do not mess with the team name. Stay away from it. I'm bringing our co-host, David Cohn. Blaine Crane here. Guys, listen. Make a lot of predictions. Most hit, Some don't. We're not perfect. But we talked about the Mets being caught by the Braves for a while and laugh, everybody enjoy it, see what happens. But this is astonishing how hot the Braves got. And you saw with a little bit of movement, I mean, I talked about Michael Harris and all these guys. But looking ahead in the future, this train isn't slowing down anytime soon. And I'm trying to find a division when you look at it in the last 28 seasons in a lot of sports: football, basketball, baseball, hockey, vocab tests, curling, Quidditch, all that stuff. Anybody who's won 17 out of the last 28, the Braves are just absolutely rocking and rolling, David.
You've been saying since the summer the Mets would collapse and the Braves would win the division, which is why I'm so glad you pointed out in your open that the Mets didn't really collapse. The Mets really didn't collapse. The Braves played really well. There are 4 teams in baseball right now who won 100 games.
Yeah.
4 of them. 2 of them are in the NL East, the Mets and the Braves. We did a segment a couple weeks ago. Will both of these teams, I think it was a punt or go topic, will both of these teams win 100 games? And now they both have. Now the Yankees have a chance. I think the Yankees play tonight. They're at 99 wins, so they could win 100 games too. But look, this division is stacked. We're not out of the clear yet. Now we got the playoffs.
Yeah.
Go finish your business if you're a Braves fans. And for the Mets fan, I had a lot of Mets fans hit me up yesterday because we have a lot in the chat. A lot of them are friends of mine. Look, the Mets are in a really good place.
Hell of a year.
Yes.
Hell of a year. And again, the narrative will be, the Mets let the Braves come back. And it's the 3rd largest division lead loss that there's ever been at 10.5 games. But it's one thing if you just fall apart. It's another thing if it gets taken. And the Mets right now, I mean, you look at the Phillies and the Padres on the periphery, but the Mets, best wild card team in baseball, in my opinion. When you look at the pitching staff, I mean, Carrasco, who looked good yesterday, the underhit I had at 7.5. I don't even want to talk about it. But you got Carrasco, you got DeGrom, you got Scherzer, you got Bassett, Diaz coming out of the pen, Ottavino, who I know struggled a little bit yesterday, ended up not giving up that crucial run. But the Mets have the pieces to make a run in the postseason, and the NL East is as strong as any division, in my opinion, when it comes down to who can win the World Series, B.
Yeah, congrats to the Braves. I'm not surprised. Not surprised by this. Atlanta's got a lot of fight in them, but I mean, in bigger news, congrats Aaron Judge.
Yes.
On doing what he did. The most important thing that happened in baseball yesterday was definitely that. Great win, comeback, I believe, against the Rangers. And, I thought about it in my head. If Aaron took steroids, he probably would have hit 120 home runs during the season.
120?
120.
I mean, we're thinking over 100 for sure. I mean, maybe 105, that 105 to 115 range. But if you jacked him up on steroids and he could also fight people in the 7th inning, think about 100-plus bombs and 20-plus knockouts on the year. I mean, come on, who's not buying that?
That's a stat.
I for sure as hell.
That's a pay-per-view. That's a
come on.
pay-per-view ticket I would happily spend $59.99 on. Speaking about spending $59.99, Blaine, what's up in the chat before we get to
Rooster Club, it's Wednesday. Let's wake up. Let's get it popping. It's hump day, baby. Jimbo Eagle. What's up, Jimbo? Hashtag question for Crane and Company. That's us, guys. All right, any chances we could witness David Cone do a crossover Get Off My Lawn segment featuring Matt Walsh in the near future? Cone, are you up for that?
Am I up for it? I mean, I think we got to sell Matt Walsh on it.
I think Walsh should do it.
You think so?
Y'all are both telling people to get off your lawn every day. I'm surprised that anybody's ever been on y'all's lawn.
That is.
If y'all had a lawn together, I don't even think you could cut the grass because nobody would be allowed on the lawn to mow the grass.
I'm trying to think of like the perfect quintessential Matt Walsh response to this right here. He'd probably say something like, I don't have a lawn. I live in the woods. Who has lawns? That's for weaklings.
Yes.
Or something like that.
It's like, well, David doesn't have a beard, so he can't be.
Get out of my woods. Yeah. Hold on. Can I also play something really quick for the Booster Club?
Yeah, go ahead.
Can I just play something for him real quick?
God.
Yes. Soak that in for
Oh, how dare you two?
Oh,
You
just soak that in.
You racist.
Man, that's just good.
You
It's just so good. It always goes down.
All right, we got Max Johnson in here, guys. It's a $9.99
Max Johnson?
donation. Yeah.
Yes.
Got a big game this
Max
week.
Good.
Johnson.
You're welcome
All right.
for letting me gas you up so you can be the starting quarterback at A&M.
Big facts. He says, hey, y'all. Hope you're doing great. I'm hoping the Niners pick up a quarterback in the draft. He says, I like Sam Hartman. You think he would work in that system, and whose game is his most comparable to? I love Sam Hartman.
Jimmy G, a little bit. I think Sam's, I would say, it's hard to say that Sam Hartman is a better thrower of the football than Jimmy Garoppolo. Like, when you're comparing college guys that are still in college to the NFL, I'll tell this to Niners fans, y'all, be careful. Be careful with this. Jimmy G has experience. I know, obviously, against the Broncos, and I had some people on social media say, oh, well, you're saying he doesn't lose the game, but he lost the game against the Broncos. The game is not won and lost off one play. If you think that's the case, then you need to rethink the way you look at football. There's typically 3 to 5, 5 to 7 plays that decide a football game. You can have stupid plays. You can have a bad play in a crucial moment. But a loss is a lot of little things typically that add up, or a couple big things that add up. It's not typically one thing. It may be one group, maybe one position group, but it's typically not one play. Jimmy G, to me, with what they have on the periphery, with the defense, with the run game, with Debo, with Ayuk, with Jawan Jennings on the outside. You saw him get the ball to playmakers in space, even with Aaron Donald in that Rams defensive line breathing down his neck. I'd be careful before I just got rid of Jimmy G. Trey Lance, I don't think's the answer. I know people say he needs more time. Okay, I get that. I just don't think he's a great fit in what Shanahan and them are doing. But if you want to knock down the whole thing and take a shot on a college quarterback and waste this defense and waste some of this weapons for a couple years, I don't want to hear any complaining or any crying when you don't win anything of merit and it's up and down and up and down and up and down because you didn't stay with Jimmy G at quarterback. I don't want to hear it.
Does Sam Hartman remind you guys at all of college Baker Mayfield?
I think he's a better thrower, man.
I think he's a better thrower and a worse
Derek
runner.
Carr-ish.
I think Derek Carr. I think Derek Carr's a good example. I'll give you another guy. I'll give you another guy. What about a little bit of Kirk Cousins?
Better thrower. Sam's a lot better.
Better thrower, just a lot better
the
thrower.
Pure thrower than Kirk. Yeah, I believe so.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, well, we'll see. I think Sam's a good thrower. I think Sam in that system with what they do with that so much RPO, I want to see him because his arm strength, while it's good, isn't elite to me. And I need to see him be able to see if he can throw the whole shot in cover 2 in the NFL, to see if he can throw rolling to his left and be able to fit that ball in there on the run. As a runner, I think Sam's a little bit sneakier than what people think, but I like the Derek Carr comparison, Blaine. I think they actually throw the ball similarly, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I still think one kid in college everybody needs to watch out for, especially in the league, will be Drake May from North Carolina.
Oh, down the road, yeah.
That kid's a pro. Yeah,
he's nice.
That kid's a pro.
There's a reason he was committed to Bama.
Yeah. All right, Alicia's Action Figure Frenzy with a $5 donation.
Yeah, let's do it.
She says, happy birthday to me. Happy birthday.
Happy birthday. We should
So far, 51 doesn't feel any different than 50. Call me Steve. You'll never pronounce my last name right. I hope I did.
I will say 51, like I started doing after I got past 29 and I hit 30, and I've said this on the show, I've stopped counting it in years. It's levels. So right now I'm level 32. Congrats to you on getting the level 51. That's why if I ever come across anybody that's like 83, I'm like, hey, you got to level 83, you're playing the boss soon.
Yeah.
And we all know who the boss is.
The big
and
boss.
you either win or you lose, or you get stuck in the middle until they decide whether you win or lose.
Well, yeah.
At least that's what I read
in the
in
Game
the
of
book.
Thrones, you either win or you die.
That's exactly right.
God, those new episodes have been absolute trash.
Have they?
bad?
Good. I'm so glad I haven't watched
Are they
it.
bad?
Yeah, it's been absolute. The last one wasn't bad. It wasn't terrible, but it's decent. But the ones before that, it's been mid at best. All right, pants to my nips. Hashtag Ask Crane and Co. Or he says, when we have a World Series rematch this year after the Yankees losing 7 to the Astros, who is winning? Get out.
No. You
get
stay in. You stay in. I appreciate you. Come on in. You sit down. You have a bowl of porridge. I'll get you a cold soda.
A bowl of porridge.
Look,
Yeah, here.
I feel
There's
like,
a bowl of porridge.
guys, I will say, remember who I did pick to win the World Series at the beginning of the year?
the Blue Jays.
The Blue Jays.
Still in it.
They're still in
Do
it?
I feel super comfy about it? Which is the slang word for confident. Do you know
Comfy?
what that was that I'm trying to make a thing?
Yeah,
Kind of like Gretchen Wieners and Fetch.
Yeah.
What, Blaine? You just didn't expect to hear the word wieners?
Comfy.
Yeah,
early in
man,
the
it's
Isn't
morning?
he comfy?
It's Wednesday. It's 6:43, and I'm hearing wieners and porridge, and guys, we're trying to do a show here.
All right, one more.
Cole Kugler, what's up, Kugs? 1128. He says 2 things. All right, if Blaine had his way, Judge would be fighting guys in the 7th inning. Yeah, I would. And he says, who's winning the fantasy league right now, and who's going to the WNBA game?
Right now, yours truly 3-1.
Jake's
but
running away with it, man.
You know what?
It's not even close.
I don't need
Why
you
aren't you
in.
drinking out of the golden tumbler?
Yeah, it's
this
yours.
morning?
Yeah, I don't need you in black jeans and a jean jacket to be talking.
My
trash to
wife's
me
a
at
doctor. I don't know if
6:50.
you knew that, but my wife's
Yeah,
a doctor.
you're not married.
I'll be alone forever.
See,
can't
now
do it,
you
I
threw
can't
me
do it.
off. Now you've totally thrown me off, and I totally forgot the second part of what was said here.
About
Who's
how-
winning the fantasy? I'm right now. After starting 0-1, we've gone into a 3-game stretch after we had that players-only meeting that I was involved in.
Jackie Moon.
Again, I'm not As the owner, I mean, I can be in there. I'm not
Owner,
technically
player,
the
coach.
You could be in a
Owner, player, coach.
Owner, actually, I am the owner, player, coach.
You're
so I
Jackie
can
Moon.
technically be in a players-only meeting. It can be a players-only meeting.
Yeah.
If I'm a player,
Oh,
it's like the
man.
guy from Split. Right during that time, I'm a player.
Yeah.
But I'm 3-1. Shapiro, I think, is 3-1. But I have the tiebreaker over Shapiro. You know what? Let's go to the standings real quick. I'm gonna pull it up on the old Steve Jobs notepad right here. I'm going to go to the Sleeper app, great app to do fantasy. We're really excited about hooking up with those guys. All right, so in the league right now, the standings as follows. So, me, sorry for your loss, 3-1. Also have, I'm leading the league in points right now as well. And second in I'm leading the league in points and second in points against. You love to see that. So I'm 3-1. Shapiro's 3-1. Blaine's 2-2. Knowles is 2-2. Clavin's 2-2. Cone's 2-2, and Walsh and Bickley from Morning Wire are both 1-3. Remember, the loser has to go to a WNBA game, which is one of the worst punishments there possibly is.
We got to make sure whoever goes to the WNBA game, we find the person who does like the scoreboard camera of people in the stands, and make sure they get.
Oh no, that's gonna happen. Oh no, that's gonna happen. All right, Cone.
There we go.
Let's get in. Let's pull up the Aaron Judge clip.
Yeah, let's pull up this Aaron Judge home run.
History.
Again.
History was made. History was made yesterday.
Okay.
Let me preface this a little bit. History was made yesterday. Aaron Judge, in my opinion, and this will be the question that gets batted around, is he truly the regular season home run king? He passed Roger Maris, who had 61. He's at 62. People will say that no. Barry Bonds, who hit 73, is the leader. Then you had McGuire and Sosa, both who hit more than what Aaron Judge did. But in my eyes, they took steroids. We know they took steroids. They know they took steroids. You know they took steroids. Blaine knows they took steroids. I think it gives you an advantage. It doesn't help you hit the ball. It helps you hit the ball further. But it does give you an advantage. Why are they not in the Hall of Fame? Because they cheated. You did cheat. You can say what you want. Barry Bonds was an unbelievably good hitter. Mark McGuire, great hitter. Sammy Sosa, great hitter. Rafael Palmeiro, great hitter. But you cheated. You cheated. It is what it is. And look, was it good for baseball when it happened? Yes. But two things can be true at once. Aaron Judge did it the right way. The same reason why Roger Maris's family came out and said, we believe Aaron Judge truly broke the record because he did not cheat. He did not enhance his body illegally. And it's just the truth. I'm sorry, that's where I'm on it. I think Aaron Judge is the regular season home run king. What do you think?
Blaine, you think? You think that?
No, I got Barry Bonds. I don't think. I don't
So you don't
think
think
steroids is cheating?
But it's against the rules.
I mean, the MLB played up to that stuff so many times.
Well, it
the
doesn't matter, so
MLB could have
against the
came
rules.
out and stopped it so earlier than what they did. They let Barry go. They let Barry play, and then after the fact, they're going to come out and release everything.
Yeah, but we're not arguing whether the MLB let it happen or whatever. We're arguing just in general. Answer this question. Does steroids give you an advantage compared to somebody who's not taking steroids?
No. Maybe.
What? Wait.
Yes.
No? What do you mean
No, maybe yes. All right.
I don't know
we
if
got
there's
there
enough science
eventually.
out there to
We
really
got there
prove that.
eventually.
No, there's actually a ton of science out there that
I think you make a good point. My problem with it is we don't know exactly who took steroids and who didn't take steroids, and when does it come into play with pitching. A lot of these guys were batting against guys who were on steroids, like Roger Clemens and some other great pitchers. You think this not only for the single season, but also for the home run champion overall, right?
Yes.
Barry Bonds. So you have Hank Aaron, home run champion.
Yes.
Look, I understand what you're saying, and I like what you're saying. Baseball is the one league that says we're not going to allow these guys to make it to the Hall of Fame because they cheated. So why not just strip them completely of the records and the titles? And also with the Astros in 2017, like why not take that World Series away if this is the one league who's going to stand up and say we're against cheating in any capacity?
I'm with you on that, especially with the Astros thing. But I am just talking about true records, like the absolute true home run record. It is an advantage. It is cheating. I've got no problem with them stripping or whatever. We know Barry Bonds took steroids. You know what I'm saying? Like, does anybody doubt whether Barry Bonds took steroids? Does anybody doubt whether Mark McGuire took steroids or Sammy Sosa took steroids? Your head got bigger. Barry Bonds' hat size is like the Grinch, grew 3 times that day when he injected it. It's just you go back and you look at the Bosch era with the steroids. I mean, I tell you, a great documentary to watch is Screwball, the one about Alex Rodriguez and the steroids and kind of the Tony Bosch deal and how all that stuff went down. A lot of people were juicing. Now the question becomes, if you get, how does it work if you get popped for juicing and then you stop? Like, how does that work with records, and do you count those home runs and whatever? I'm not getting in the weeds on that. I am talking about the regular season home run record. Barry Bonds cheated. Mark McGwire cheated. Sammy Sosa cheated. A lot of other guys cheated. And I'm not saying they aren't great hitters. They're phenomenal hitters. It does not help you hit the slider. It helps you hit the slider further. We have the clip. Let's go ahead and play the clip. Aaron Judge, new regular season home run, clean champion. Let's play it. Congrats, pitcher. You're famous for all the wrong reasons. That ball's absolutely slapped out of the yard as well. Absolutely slapped out of the yard.
Wow.
But steroids is cheating. I'm sorry.
This is why you walk him. You walk him. I'm walking him for the rest of the year.
For the whole series.
The rest of the year. You're not seeing a pitch, buddy.
Well, if I'm
not a pitch, not a single
So
one.
are you saying that as the manager of the team,
that's
or
the
are you
question.
saying that as like the pitcher that's pitching?
Manager of the team.
You're not
Really?
letting him
You
hit
wouldn't
it
let
against
any
your
of your
team.
pitchers go
No,
through to
you're
him.
getting walked. Not against us. You're not breaking this
So
record.
you don't
against
even
us.
want to be the manager of the team
Nope.
that gives up.
I
on
want
it.
no relation to you breaking this record.
So you, but well, you would if you would, if let's say it's the last couple games and you're the last team to play him in a 3-game series and you walk him every time, you're gonna be attached to something.
that's fine. I'd rather be attached to that, and not
You're
the
gonna be
record
noticed
not
that-
getting broken
You're-
than to throw a BP pitch up here. You might as well throw it underhand and watch Aaron Judge hit it
You're
1,000 yards.
You're gonna be the Benedict Arnold of
That's
baseball.
fine.
You'll
We'll
never
take
live
it.
that
Look,
down.
you're not doing it against us. I'm sorry. You're not
like
breaking the record
the
against us,
opening
ever.
line of that 30 for 30 would be like, "What if I told you that Blaine was chicken?"
I don't think so. That was one a bad voice, but it definitely wouldn't be that.
It wouldn't be that.
No.
I think it would be that.
No, it would not
I think it'd be
at
that
all.
super.
And, like, you're getting walked. Like, I am not the guy. This is not the team.
Okay.
You're gonna do this.
In the chat, in the Booster Club, and in the comments below, make sure you like and subscribe. But would you pitch to Aaron Judge if he was one home run away from breaking the record? Would you do it if it was you individually
Take
on the
first,
mound?
buddy. Great year. Great year, man.
You
Get on
said
down
you'd
there.
do the same for Albert Pujols.
Yeah, get on down
It was
there.
like, great career.
You do it for the same for Albert Pujols.
Yeah, remember he said he'd be like,
Not
great
getting
career,
him
get down to
700.
first.
Yeah, you're not hitting milestones against me, buddy. I promise you that. You're not. Get on down.
All
to
right,
first.
let's
Great
get
job.
to the Booster Club real quick.
All right, let's go to Carson Everett with a $50 donation.
Whoa!
Appreciate it, Carson.
We're
rich.
carcinogen.
Says, good morning, Booster Club, and to the Crane & Co. fellas, what's up? What's up, Carson?
What's
Been
up, my
keeping it
friend?
steady with math and push-ups.
Yeah, you have.
Good.
Now I'm feeling stacked with both brains and brawn. I'm celebrating 2 years since I told alcohol to get off my lawn. Congrats.
Good for you. Good
Keep
for
it up,
you. I'm
man.
celebrating
Who was
about
that?
3
Who was
days.
that?
That was Carson
Yeah.
Everett.
Carson.
I've
good for
stopped
you,
drinking
Carson.
alcohol during the week.
Yeah?
Yeah, I have.
Good.
Yep. Excited about that. But Carson, congrats, man. That's awesome. I'm sure it's helped you in a lot of different areas. Appreciate the donation as well. But congrats on 2 years. Keep it up, my
That's
friend.
legendary.
$5 donation from Hunter Fournette. Says,
Hunter
"Go
Fournette,
Tigers, go
brother."
Tigers." Completely unrelated, but I feel like I needed to say it.
Uh-oh.
Fine, you can always say that in here.
What did he say?
Say what
Go
you
Tigers?
Go
need to
Tigers.
say.
Did he say go or Geox?
Say
bit
what
of
you need.
Okay.
Geox Tigers?
Geox
A little bit of
Tigers.
both.
Dude, that game against LSU, I cannot wait to preview that tomorrow.
Talking about LSU, Tennessee?
Oh,
Oh, yeah.
you'd love to see
Oh,
it.
yeah.
Let's go to Malcolm Martin. What's up, Malcolm? Hashtag Ask Crane and Company. Would you take steroids if you are guaranteed to make millions of dollars?
Yes.
I would.
Yes. I'm not saying, listen, I'm not saying that during the steroid era, I wouldn't have taken steroids. Look, there's a lot of guys that take steroids now. It's called Winstraw. You didn't hear it from me. My thing is, you are selling your soul, in my opinion. That's what it is. It's a deal, right? It's a deal. I want to hit more home runs, which will lead to more fame, which will lead to more money. But there will always be an asterisk if I get found out. You get found out. The guys that I look at, that I say, you know what, to me, are the best hitters of all time, are the guys that didn't take it. Tony Gwynn. Guys like that. And you can go back and say DiMaggio and Ted Williams. They hadn't even invented steroids yet. Steroids were just, I don't even think they had steroid cream you put on stuff, let alone steroids you inject to look like Popeye and hit the ball 800 feet. But I'm not saying I wouldn't have done it. But if I would have done it, I would have sat here and said, guess what, guys? I did it. I can understand if I'm not in the record books, but I'm also a super duper millionaire.
So how about this portion of it? Because Roger Maris hit 61 in 1961 and fitting we're 61 years later.
Yeah, see, that's the Matrix.
That's when
I'm
you know
telling you,
some
that's
weird
when you know
stuff's
it's the
going on.
Matrix.
But when he hit 61, he hit that 61st homer in the last game of a 162-game season, when Ruth had hit 60 in a 154-game season. And there was controversy surrounding that. That's why the 61 movie with the asterisk by Roger Maris name, it was that 8 fewer games that Ruth hit 60. How do you feel about that?
I feel like I feel like you can make it that's a much stronger claim than saying that somebody that took steroids has the record. I think that is a legitimate argument because, look, and we know the game of baseball, one game is big. I mean, that's 3-4 at-bats. You play an extra 8 games. Now, I know if you look at Roger Maris, the amount of games he missed that season, I think it's actually pretty close to the amount that Ruth played, even though it's not exact. But that is an argument that we can sit down and get really analytical on, and you can be on different sides of the fence on that with merit. I don't think you can have merit arguing that steroids don't give you an advantage. Like I said, and I want to make sure that I have this clear for everybody in the Booster Club. I am not saying that steroids help you keep your hands back on a curveball, help you catch up to a 101-mile-per-hour fastball. That's not what they do. What steroids do is 2 things. And people, I think, are on both sides of the fence on the first one. One, they do help you avoid injury. Okay, a lot of people think, oh, if you take a bunch of steroids, you're going to get hurt quicker. Half the reason you take steroids is to be able to play more games because you're stronger and your body's able to endure it. Now, as you get older after taking steroids, that's when your body starts to break down. But one of the main reasons people take steroids is injury prevention. Second thing is, it makes you stronger. You can play longer, get bigger, faster, stronger. It gives you an advantage. So if we're arguing the amount of games played, that's a legitimate argument with merit. I don't think injecting yourself with super juice is an argument to whether you should have the record or not. I think that's a lot easier beaten down than the first one.
So what you're saying is if you take steroids, it makes you an elite hitter.
That's actually the No, David, that's not what I'm saying. Please don't coagulate my words. Seeing how many big words I can use today. All right, let's get in. Speaking of Major League or NFL, let's shift to NFL. Let's go our NFL quick hitch here.
Quick hitch, boys.
King.
Kenny Pickett came in last week. Didn't play great, scored a couple touchdowns, but he's going to get his first start for the Steelers.
Yep.
The Kenny Pickett era is upon us.
It is, and I think Tomlin does a really good job in press conferences of actually telling the truth, but talking in a way that, he didn't really down a lot of people. He didn't throw Mitch under the bus. He's like, look, is Mitch playing fantastic? No. Is it all about him? No. The quarterback tends to get too much blame and too much credit. But this was a matter of time. Just like Mitch Trubisky's time, and it's funny, in the anniversary of Blake Bortles retiring from football, I think Mitch Trubisky isn't too far out from obviously being a journeyman, but being done. The Kenny Pickett era was always going to happen. It was a matter of time. You go back to the preseason, he leads basically a game-winning drive, then a drive before halftime. I know it's the preseason, but there was a lot of excitement there. Comes in, you saw kind of the different style, the energy, the juice it brought to the team. I know he turned the ball over a little bit, but that's going to happen with a new quarterback, a rookie quarterback coming into the NFL. I think Kenny Pickett is going to be a good player. Do I think he's going to be this elite, unbelievable quarterback? No. Do I think him having little hands is a problem? Not really. I think that's way overblown. Just because you shake my hand like a child doesn't mean you can't go out there and ball. Kyler Murray's basically an Ewok running around out there that's balling for me in fantasy right now. But did I just say balling twice in the same sentence?
And Ewok.
Strike that from the record. Ewok's good. Balling twice. No, this isn't a DJ Khaled video. It was, like I said, it's a matter of time. I'm excited for the Steelers. I'm excited for Kenny Pickett. And I'm really excited to see how this quarterback draft class plays out here in the next 3 to 5 years, because it was down. You look at Malik Willis. Is his time coming with Ryan Tannehill eventually? Kenny Pickett, it's his time in Pittsburgh. Matt Corral, we know he was hurt. Desmond Ridder behind Marcus Mariota and the Falcons, who are 2-2 behind Arthur Smith. But I'm excited to see how Kenny Pickett does.
Well, Mitch, I'm not Mike Tomlin, so, you're below mediocre, so please get under the bus and stay there. This team's already better with Kenny Pickett in it. And one thing that I like what I saw with Kenny Pickett, you put him in, you saw an uptick of targets for George Pickens. Yeah. Right? He started actually getting a lot more targets. George Pickens is going to be the guy at receiver. I know you have Deontay Johnson. You have Chase Claypool, who's okay. Don't really get that excited about it. You got a new tight end who's really good.
Najee Harris.
Najee Harris. But the thing about, Pittsburgh, they've always been
Freiermuth.
The type of team that plays great defense is good at running the ball. All right, and Kenny Pickett just be that guy who come in. You don't have to do too much. You don't have to go over the top. Just play your role, be who you are, and you don't have to throw us to wins, but don't turn the ball over. And Kenny, one thing I saw with Mitch, the difference with Kenny stood in the pocket and took some hits and made some throws.
Yeah, he did.
You kind of go back and watch Mitch play. Mitch would kind of, he'd see it, try to get out of the pocket, make some plays, throw it away. But Kenny will stay in there and take a hit. But Kenny's the future of the Steelers. That's why you drafted him.
They have the 30th ranked offensive line out of 32 teams.
And that's what you're
only
not
so
used
much
to
you can
seeing
do
by the
there.
Steelers.
I know how great Najee Harris is, but when you have the third worst offensive line, there's only so much you can do. Kenny Pickett is going to make mistakes. It's not going to be like an exponential improvement over.
Yeah, you're throwing him in the fire
right now. But if you even think that it's even, if you think it's even, you have to play this.
Yeah, there's a reason you drafted that guy.
Yes, you drafted him for a reason.
And Mitch knew deep down when they drafted him. I mean, but I think that the Pickens and Pickett connection, outside of making a great T-shirt, I mean that's a strong young connection. I mean it's Nicholas Sparks book type young connection.
So if you're a bird, I'm a bird.
Yeah, if you're a bird, I'm a bird for sure. If you're a Steeler, I'm a Steeler.
Well, let's stay on NFL quarterbacks. Aaron Rodgers became the 5th quarterback in NFL history to throw 500 touchdown passes. Tom Brady, Peyton Manning, Drew Brees, and the last 2 were Packers boys, Brett Favre and Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah, let's run the clip. This is an unbelievable milestone. Aaron Rodgers, the true witch, the Hogwarts grad, the catcher of the golden snitch. Let's run the clip. Oh, yeah. Look, this is just a little back shoulder.
Of course, back shoulder fit.
Write it on paper and put it in the folder. It's a touch. The Packers, too, it's funny. We talked about, Christian Watson and guys like this, but you've seen kind of a resurgence of Randall Cobb. I like Dobbs a lot. I know he dropped a touchdown pass that would have actually tied for a cover that I would have had. I would have gone 5-1 in the weekend instead of 4-2 in the NFL. But I like Dobbs. Tanyan, you see in the middle. You're starting to see some Lazard. You kind of know what you're going to get from Lazard if he can stay healthy. But with the Aaron Jones and A.J. Dillon, I know they didn't look great against the Patriots without Mac Jones. It seemed like every quarterback in the roster played for the Patriots. But the Packers, man, they're always there. And I know it's because of Aaron, and Aaron will keep them in games. But the defense, they've got to play better. I had them in fantasy this last week. It wasn't like they were horrible, but you gave up 24 points to the Patriots without Mac Jones. That was a combination of Max Johnson and Mac Jones, 2 quarterbacks that we talked about, 2 quarterbacks, one in the SEC, one that played in the SEC. So, no, congratulations to Aaron. It's what happens when you date girls named Blue from Earth, and you do things like this, and you hang out with Danica Patrick, you eventually throw 500 touchdowns.
Is that what it is?
Yeah, it's the formula. It's Pythagorean theorem. It's math.
Look, Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs went into Raymond James Stadium.
Yes.
And really beat up on the Tampa Bay Bucks.
Man.
41-31. Your thoughts on that one?
Well, I know the Bucks had some guys come back a little bit from injury, but when you look at this game, I took the Chiefs -1.5 at plus money. I felt good about it, especially the way they played against the Colts. I've seen the Chiefs lose, but that was one of the few times when the Chiefs played the Colts, it looked like they just rolled their helmet out there and thought they were going to win because the Colts have struggled. They let them hang around. The Colts ended up taking the lead and not giving it away. But when I look at the Chiefs, and we had this argument last week about what was more important, losing Tyreek Hill or shoring up the offensive line, because they've added Juju Smith-Schuster, which, by the way, I've got to tell you something I've done in fantasy, and you're probably not going to be happy about me at me about it. I just want to make sure I get to it and talk about it on the show. But the Chiefs show you why they are consistently at the top of power rankings or close to the top. The ability to come back from a loss, the ability to come back from only scoring 17 points, from looking somewhat inept on offense, to being able to dominate the game up front. I look at the offensive line that the Chiefs have, and I feel like the Chiefs are in a better position than they have ever been to win a Super Bowl because this offensive line can line up and run the ball. I sat here and said Clyde Edwards-Helaire would catch a touchdown pass and run for one. His versatility out of the backfield is going to be huge for them down the stretch. Because when you get in the red zone, you can ask the Patriots and Tom Brady, the way they use James White and Sony Michel and those guys in the red zone was that running back passing game, and those modified runs are huge when you're trying to create space when the space is shrunk. So whether it's Mahomes and Bieniemy getting into it and getting past it, that's part of the game. Whenever you have Mahomes, whenever you have Travis Kelce, whenever you have the weapons that they still have, and now an offensive line you can lean on 3rd and 1 and can get you that 3rd and 2 just by lining it up and running it downhill when the defense knows you're going to run it, that's the difference for the Chiefs, in my opinion.
Blaine, Chiefs, Bucks, you think that could be a playoff rematch?
For sure it can. For sure it can. The thing about Tampa Bay's D-line I really wasn't impressed with. They've been playing well all year. Really didn't get the quarterback as much. I mean, Mahomes is a witch at the highest witch able level you can get to. But I think as long as the Bucs start to get more healthy, Chris Godwin looked good. He'll only get more healthy. It's good to see Mike Evans off the suspension, but the Bucs, just something's missing with the Bucs right now. I don't know what it is, but something's missing.
Explosive play.
I look at Tom, and you can kind of tell. I know Tom's been playing well, and he's a professional all the time, but you can kind of tell if you really looked at him. I said this on the show maybe last week, 2 weeks ago. Something just feels. You look at him, something's off. Right? Something just wasn't right. Breaking tablets. He seems pissed off a lot more than he usually is. And then we kind of find out what goes on with Giselle. So at this point now, one, I'll never get married because if Tom Brady can't get married, then I
look.
Sure as hell can't get married.
I'm not nervous about getting married, but like if Tom Brady and Giselle can't work out, I mean, I'm gonna have to work like double hard.
Man, it's tough. And yeah, I wanted to say something on this real quick because you're exactly right. If things aren't right on the home front, how can you have success professionally? And we tend to look at and the reports right now are that Tom Brady and Giselle may be getting divorced. We don't know any of the information. I certainly don't want to speculate on their specific situation, but I will say we tend to look at these type of people as just celebrities, as the winningest quarterback in NFL history, as a supermodel, and their combined net worth is $1 billion. But they're just people. They're people with a family and with a job. And at the end of the day, Tom Brady wants to go to work. He's 45 years old. I know 85-year-olds who can't retire.
Yeah.
You guys met my neighbor Ray. I mean, you take away work from some of these guys who are still in their 80s, they would die the next week because that's what keeps them going. And I don't see this as a situation where a lot of people are making fun of that Tom Brady has chosen work over his family. He's choosing to work for his family.
Yeah,
that's a man's responsibility.
And I don't mean to get existential, but I think that's something that worries me about society and my generation and our generation and Blaine's generation is that I don't think people want to work as bad as they did back then. I think people are happy. You got people that are happy now just sitting at home playing video games while, and like Dylan and Brennan from Step Brothers that just, want to eat pizza and play video games and make excuses. No, get your ass up and go to work.
You're exactly
That's one of the
right.
reasons that we are the major superpower of the world is that we are the most competitive people on the planet. And the minute we lose that is the minute we're going to fall back in the pack. But speaking of falling back in the pack, who are you going to play at fantasy quarterback this week? I know Tua got
Jumping to
hurt.
that, I wasn't even finished with the Brady thing, but I don't know yet. I don't know.
Well, I went ahead and took Derek Carr and Kirk Cousins off the board in free agency.
With 5 bench spots, you're holding all those quarterbacks?
Yeah, just so you couldn't get one.
Did you
for this
drop?
week. I dropped Juju Smith-Schuster, and then I dropped like a random bench player like Elijah Moore. So you're left with like
Wow,
Ryan
you think that's a good decision?
Yeah, you don't have a quarterback.
It's 17 weeks long. Plus, I have Carson Wentz.
I mean, I'm going to drop both of them. I wasn't playing either one of them anyway. I just wanted to let you know I did that. It's a preemptive strike. I thought it was brilliant. I did it this morning.
Okay. Well,
I mean, you still got Trevor Lawrence.
do you see that face on your brother right there, boy?
Trevor Lawrence, Matt Stafford. Oh yeah,
Matt Stafford's Matt
You know
Stafford.
it was something like if it was so random like that. It was something he wanted to.
Like,
just
I'm
thought
sitting here trying to make a finish.
I didn't know if you noticed.
And you want to interrupt me with that?
I'm sorry.
Right there.
We were talking about
Childish
quarterbacks.
behavior.
It's within the realm of thought. It's kind of orbiting around the planet. That is what you were saying.
No, now I lost my train of thought.
Tom Brady.
Like he's
No, I'm
low-key
good.
mad about it.
All right, Manning cast version of Bobby Wagner tackle.
Yes.
Last thing I had here.
Look, like I said yesterday, I feel like if you are going to run on the field, you should have to pay the price. There should be something, should you do Oklahoma drill against the biggest D lineman on the team? But I thought this was a great job of them, and I would love to be able to announce somebody running on the field. Let's go ahead and play it.
Here you go. Oh, yeah.
There he is.
Look at Bobby
There he
right
is.
here. That's good
Yes,
form. You
oh,
deserve
yes.
this.
That's what we're talking about. Wagner.
Bobby Wagner makes every play.
Get him down. Now get out
another
and let these
tackle.
guys take over.
True veteran.
That true veteran. Bobby Wagner continues to make plays. If somebody's on the field, Bobby Wagner is tackling that person. But no, Cone, to bring it back 1 second to your Brady point though about the work thing, there will be a lot of speculation and stuff that comes out. I mean, you guys got like Antonio Brown putting a photo out of him and Giselle hugging each other. Just off the rip, pure speculation. Do you think it was Tom's fault or Giselle, or do you think it was mutual?
Well, anytime someone's getting a divorce, both parties are to blame. I hate to see that. I really hope that that's not what ends up happening here. But what we were talking about before, I mean, you made the best point with people not wanting to work. There's so many people who say, man, if I had Tom Brady's net worth, net worth, I wouldn't even go to work, and that's part of the problem. Is that we
that's
see
why you'll
work
never have it.
as a means to a financial end rather than a means to a personal fulfillment. I think, but I don't know who's to blame. I certainly hope it's not the case where Giselle wanted Tom Brady to retire so he could be around the house more and that she could go do some things that she wants to do. Because, like I said, I mean, it's a man's responsibility to go to work. I don't blame this man being 45 years old for wanting to go and do his job.
And Blaine, if it was like he was broken down and couldn't move and couldn't throw a ball past 10 yards, that'd be one thing. But you watch Tom Brady play. I mean, his arm strength is still good enough. Obviously, the mental and his IQ and ability to read and keep evolving as a player hasn't changed.
Yeah.
It just does make sense. I think Blaine made a good point, and you made a good point about if things aren't right on the home front, it's going to bleed through in other areas. That's why we talk about the whole person, right? Mentally, spiritually, if you're into that, professionally, stuff like that. Having your whole house in order keeps everything else in order.
No, I agree. We really don't know what happened behind the scenes, this relationship.
I heard you do.
There's one person that you need to watch out for right now. All right, and the kid just got healthy, and he knows how to ride with the fear. All right.
Zach Wilson.
Watch out for Zach.
Jets.
I wouldn't be surprised to see Zach Wilson's name pop up for something. Who knows? Look, he knows how.
Zach Wilson had nothing to do with Giselle.
It's a joke. Yes, yeah, I realize that. It's just the kid's a MILF.
Oh, I was about to say.
The kid's a MILF hunter.
I was about to say. I mean, Zach Wilson looked pretty good coming out week 1 too with the Jets.
Yeah,
Made some big throws late in the game.
That was who. Wasn't that who beat the Steelers?
Yes.
Yeah, Jets.
Yes.
24-20 over the Steelers.
Jets got a couple wins. Giants got a couple wins. The Cowboys have won 3 in a row. I'm looking around asking a lot of questions right now. Georgia was losing to Missouri by double digits last week.
It's good.
I mean, is this where we have to fight the guys from World of Warcraft? I mean, when did they get here?
I don't know. I hope not. That wouldn't be fun.
No, Gul'dan and the gang? I do not want to fight Gul'dan and the gang.
Do we want to go to the chat?
Of course, we
I
always
saw
wanna
this
go to the
earlier, and I
chat.
know we haven't been in the chat for a little bit, but this was funny to me. Quasi Terrible says, you could change Judge's name to Christopher because he'd be walking. So I thought that was
do like
funny.
that.
Then Jimbo Eagle
Hey,
says, question for Crane and Company, who's a bigger serial killer, Jeffrey Dahmer or Cooper Kupp? That's really. Coop does got some serial killer look at him. Be honest. He's got the eyes.
Cooper Kupp?
Yeah, Coop's got the eyes.
Am
I wrong?
No, Cooper Kupp, we talk about a walking 30-piece in fantasy, but like if you just watch him throughout the game, you want to talk about somebody that's fundamentally sound in and out of routes, but just has unbelievable feel. Him and Stafford have great chemistry, but watching him mix up how he comes off the ball, you see him with the skip route every now and then, just the instincts at receiver. We can talk about the hands. We can talk about his ability to catch the ball away from himself or contort his body or contort his eyes or barely be able to see the ball and make catches. But watching him get in and out of breaks, watching him understand exactly the depth he has to get to in routes, Cooper Kupp's a good athlete, really good athlete. Is he the best athlete in the NFL? No. Is he the best athlete typically in the matchups he's going against some of these DBs? No. Is he going forward and they're going backwards or flat-footed? Yes, but it's still impressive. Watch, because the book's out on him. You know what Cooper Kupp's going to do, but he keeps finding ways to get open. That's the most impressive part to me. You know Cooper Kupp's going to kill you. They know Cooper Kupp's going to kill you, but you still can't stop it. It's inevitability, man. It's Thanos, and Cooper just goes out there, snaps his fingers.
Great route runner.
And DBs disappear. And touchdowns appear.
Okay, there's a shout out to Colleen Houston for the Jeezy quotes. You love to see it.
You love to
when
see
you
it.
said ballin' twice, what a great Jeezy song. And did Tom Brady cheat in a relationship prior to this? Prior to Giselle? Does anybody know about that?
I
don't know about that.
I don't think so.
All right, let's go to Ralph Denver, a $2 donation.
Thank you,
Appreciate it,
Ralphie.
He says, guys, all right, I didn't know this, but U.S. Disc Golf Championship starts tomorrow. Do we have any thoughts on that?
Yeah, look, I'm trying to keep it together. I think Timmy Stevenson's the guy to beat here. Timmy Stevenson. When it comes to throwing Frisbees, Blaine's probably the worst at it. But when it comes to throwing disc golf, I'm big on Timmy. I think River Swanson has a chance too. He's done a really good job on the circuit.
Are you looking up names?
He
right
did
now?
that.
Yeah, you are.
Those are totally
How about
real people.
Paul Macbeth?
Yeah.
I'm not as big on Paul. He's had, I know he had a sprained elbow a little bit. I think he's been overthrowing. If I was a disc golfer, I would just throw it like on the ground and make the Frisbee go for it. I mean, I can throw a Frisbee pretty good.
How about Greg Barsby?
Oh, that's just these.
Greg to me is overrated.
These fits perfectly.
I think Greg's overrated. There's been some off the field things with him.
Disc golf has to be sponsored by Copperfit, right?
Brett Favre out there.
Yeah, Jerry Rice out there.
Yeah, playing against like 40-year-old, 45-year-old middle-aged men. I'm like, guys, why are we playing 7-on-7 against Brett Favre and Jerry Rice? Like, it's not the copper. The copper fit's not the reason they're murdering us. They're the reason they're murdering us.
All right, let's go to Emmanuel C. Don't make fun of the Notebook. I will find you.
I'll find you.
Let me go to the
what,
Daily Wire chat.
Reading problems over there?
Well, yeah, I'm trying to find some questions, buddy. Jake's Khakis.
That's your buddy.
Jake's _ Khakis, excuse me. Cooper Kupp is the best example of a smart and a super sound player you can probably find in the NFL as a non-QB. I mean, he is. The kid knows his feet, and he kind of says he's not the biggest, he's not the fastest, but he's the smartest. And more than half of receivers, I promise you, is feel, right? Being able to find zones, sit in zones. That's why Travis Kelce is so good. And the chemistry that you have with your quarterback goes a long way. I guarantee you, Matt Stafford and Cooper Kupp would know where each other are, even off of football field.
Yeah. He knows he's at Wendy's right now.
Exactly.
Like getting a Frosty. You know who Cooper Kupp kind of reminds me of, and people are going to go nuts when I make this comparison. You know who else wasn't the biggest, the fastest, or strongest, but one of the best ever receiver? Jerry Rice.
That's true.
And Cooper Kupp is on pace right now to have a better year this year than he did last year, where he led the NFL basically in every stat that matters for a wide receiver. But if you look at the way Jerry Rice did it, Jerry Rice is a good athlete, not the best athlete in the field. Jerry Rice will tell you that. Cooper Kupp's the same way. Now, they do it in different ways. Jerry Rice was a little more of a vertical threat, home run threat, but they both do an unbelievable job of catching the ball away from their hands, and they know exactly the depth they have to get to, and they do an unbelievable job of being able to adjust not only mid-route, but mid-game when they're finding something and being able to exploit something while communicating that with the quarterback. Jerry Rice with Steve Young, Cooper Kupp with Matt Stafford.
They're the hardest workers.
Yep.
Those two guys were the hardest workers, you know? I mean, Cooper Kupp's
not a
acting
coincidence.
like he's suiting up for Eastern Washington.
Yeah.
He has that mentality.
Yeah, it's not a coincidence.
Let's go to Baby Sawyer's dad. She says, Justin Verlander.
Baby Sawyer's dad's a man.
Kind of say a sentence without getting corrected.
I don't know.
Every word you mess up, I'm going to correct. God, grow up.
Well,
Justin,
it's 2022. It's 2022. You get their gender right.
Okay. Justin Verlander is the Aaron Judge of pitching.
I mean,
he was dealing last night.
He was dealing last night, but I'm still taking DeGrom over Verlander.
Yeah.
I'm still taking her. I know DeGrom hasn't been relatively healthy. Justin's been beat up, but that's what happens when you're a pitcher. When you throw a ball 100 miles per hour a lot of times during a certain time of the year. I don't think Verlander's taken steroids. I don't think DeGrom has taken steroids. I just think they came from the earth, able to throw a baseball like that, and they've worked hard. Do like Justin Verlander a lot.
Look, I threw 5 footballs last night in the cul-de-sac with the neighborhood kids, and I had to ice the shoulder, you know, so.
Well, you've been through a lot.
Yeah, 5 passes, a lot.
That's a lot. The way you throw passes.
Yeah.
Look, it's no holds barred.
Threw him down past little Jimmy's house.
Yeah, you're riding with the fear. Well, he knows. They thought we were getting invaded. I thought it was a Red Dawn situation. So many missiles shooting by their house. Like I'm in Ukraine, staying in a hotel. What else? One more B, and then we'll get to.
$2 donation from Ralph Denver. Ralph coming with the $2. He says Paul Macbeth recently signed a 10-year, $10 million contract in the sport of disc golf. I do not believe you.
10-year, $10 million contract, and can we fact check that? Because if that's the case, give me a frisbee. I'm going to be outside throwing for about an hour. 10 million? Dude, if that's the case, what do you get for playing cornhole? Which, by the way, when we went over to our buddy Ryan's housewarming party, which was a great time, you know, typically me and Blaine are pretty good at cornhole, right? Pretty good.
Yeah.
I guess they had 2 guys over there. One of them, I think, was a professional. The other one, like, builds cornhole boards. Like, there's levels to it. Like, this wasn't even cool, like, when we played that. You know, you play against your buddies, and it's fun, and, you know, you'll get hot, and you know, playing, hey, we're busting, oh, you're back down to 15. It's different when you got the guys from Johnsonville that just walked up. They're sponsored by Johnsonville.
Y'all met your match?
Walking up there. Well, Blaine didn't play with me. It was me and our buddy Mike. You know Mike. Me and buddy Mike. It wasn't me and Blaine. Because after we saw them, we're like, you know, we need to get together, come up with a game plan before we play these guys. But it just wasn't cool. Like they were just like hopping it in every single time. It was like skipping stones, like but throwing it in basically into the oceans. What they made it look like. But that's fine. Give us 2 months. We'll figure it out. If oh boy can make 10 million throwing disc golf, I can make 10 million throwing a beanbag into a hole that's like 21 feet away. That's the truth. Dave.
All right, so last one. You coming back here? What are we doing?
Man, you know, we'll go back for one more. Just do one more. It's so good when it hits your lip.
Jimmy Dugal just said, Jake just said a minute ago, you catch the ball away from their hands.
That said away from their hands?
Yep.
That's really impressive, isn't it? Away from their body is what I meant, of course.
Let's go.
You catch it away from your hands.
You're really doing something there.
Yeah.
Edwin2563. Edwin, what's up, man? I haven't seen you in here. Welcome to the chat. What is divine providence that Jesus served a 60-second home run?
What is divine?
What is divine providence that Jesus served a 60-second home run?
Yes, it is. Serve it up on a platter.
Yeah. Absolutely. All right, let's go to Cone's laser rocket arm. How's that arm feeling, Cone?
I'm feeling good, man.
Laser, does it feel like a rocket today?
Iced it down through 5 passes.
Well, we have to go throw the skin outside a little
Let's
bit.
do
man.
it.
I'm down. He said, question, what's your thought on Favre's issues legally?
Man, I don't know yet.
I've looked into this. I kind of want to let this run through the course. And we just had Brett Favre on. That was a really good interview. You should check it out. If it is true, what went down, not a good look, man.
I've been keeping track of it because, we want to make sure that we're talking about this story, but trying to get all the information first.
Yeah, I'd like more of the information to come out before I sit here and go like willy-nilly on, Brett Favre needs to be thrown underneath the jail. But look, anytime you steal, if that's true, there needs to be a price paid, but especially in this situation with what was going on, it's just a horrible look, and I hope that it's not true. Let's just put it that way.
Ralph Denver with another $2 donation.
Look,
Appreciate
Ralph,
it, Ralph.
keep throwing it up.
He says, I'm dead serious. Check it.
That's unbelievably
If
impressive.
someone, there's no way.
Yeah, I believe him. Fact check true. We're being told fact check true. Oh
This
boy's
man
getting $1 million a year to throw the cornhole. Only in America. You want to know why America's the greatest country?
That's disc golf, isn't it?
Disc golf?
Yeah, not
Yeah.
cornhole.
10 years, 10 million. Fact check.
10 years, $10 million
For disc golf.
for disc golf.
Mm.
Yeah, no, that's unbelievably impressive. But I feel like if we worked hard enough, we can make 10 million throwing cornhole.
Well, if I'd have known you can make 10 million playing disc golf, maybe I would have tried a little bit.
You said you can't throw a frisbee good.
Maybe I'd worked harder. You know?
Maybe I'd have worked harder.
If you're out here making 10 milli for throwing, like, how many people are watching disc golf? 11?
I don't know. Some
There's
people that can
dozens of
afford
us?
to drop 10 million on the. He
Jeez.
must be. This dude must be the Barry Bonds, Aaron Judge, Roger Maris, Babe Ruth mix of disc golf. You better be throwing the disc golf from the tee box into that net with chains on it that y'all got down at the bottom.
That's where we
while you're
used to
walking
walk
around
Penny
eating
Lane.
granola bars
We used
and
to walk
listening
Penny
to
Lane
Sublime.
across the street at the park. That was a disc golf course through all.
Yeah, I know. I've coached in Iowa. I've been in Iowa.
Almost got a buzz cut. Huh?
Have you ever played disc golf course before? You ever done it before?
No.
I've done it 3 or 4 times. I went up to Iowa, man. They love doing it. Like I was like, man, this kind of.
I did it one time in Colorado. I was like, this isn't fun.
Yeah, like I don't enjoy. It's not a ball.
Well, I have to aim like it's my golf shot. I have to aim like 800 yards right.
Yeah.
So I'm wrapping it. I'm wrapping my hands.
Everything's going left.
I'm hooking my hands.
Yeah, well, you got to, make an adjustment. But speaking about making adjustments, if you want to watch the rest of this episode, remember, you can stay here and listen or listen on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. But if you want to watch it, head over to Daily Wire Plus, become a member. But make sure, regardless, you subscribe, like, turn on the notification bell here on YouTube as well, and make sure you're subbed. We're going to be right back with Cones Wednesdays. Get off my lawn, mailbag, bets, fantasy, and all your dreams come true. And I'm going to be working on my disc golf game as well. We'll be right back. Every Wednesday at about this time, our 6'7" curmudgeon of a friend, he's really a 75-year-old, trapped in a 34-year-old's body, gets upset about the old whippersnappers of the country, pissing him off all on his lawn. Cone, who are you screaming at from the front porch today?
Today, I am telling the AT&T Red River Showdown to get off my lawn.
Get out, down.
Texas and Oklahoma are 2 of the most storied programs in college football history. They have met 117 times since 1900, and they are tied for 4th on the all-time wins list. Growing up, I looked forward to the second Saturday in October when these 2 blue-blooded programs would meet in the Cotton Bowl and battle it out for the Golden Hat. The Red River Shootout, they called it. And despite the Wild West imagery of cowboys fighting it out on the plains of North Texas, not once did I reach for a firearm while watching this contest. Instead, I reached for a football. And that seems to be the case for most Americans, since the Red River Shootout nickname stood for over a century. Until, of course, AT&T decided in 2005 that it would be best to not only brand the game with the AT&T moniker, but to also replace the word shootout, which they deemed problematic, with rivalry. Then when that change failed to inspire, they changed rivalry to showdown. Marketing executives, take some free advice. The corporatization of tradition dilutes the natural allure of tradition.
Ooh.
The root cause of gun violence isn't a college football game's nickname. The root cause of gun violence is absentee parents who think raising their children and holding them accountable is optional. It isn't. And for the eye rollers who say this is just a game and it doesn't really matter, it matters because we've become soft. We've become weak, and we've sacrificed tradition after tradition at the altar of a corporate buck. Just this week, 125 people were trampled to death at a soccer stadium in Indonesia. When we have tragedies of that nature following a football game in Dallas, then let's discuss possible name changes. Until that, respect your neighbor, protect your family, enjoy football, and stay off my lawn.
Well done, sir.
Yeah, Dave.
Well done.
Well done,
It's like we said yesterday, Cone. How many times has there been a mass shooter or somebody that's about to go do something with a gun, or right before that, or they're teetering on the edge of doing it, and they turn on the TV on Saturday and they're like, wait, Red River shootout? I'm definitely doing it now. If that's the case, then you can never say the word. You got to take the word shoot out of basketball. No longer did Steph Curry shoot it. Steph Curry threw it at the basket. But if you say throw, what could be in a throw?
Grenades.
A knife or an
Grenades.
axe
Yeah.
or a ninja star.
It's
So you
so
can't
silly.
say throw. Well, then how about a toss? Oh, wait, David, you can't say toss because what can you toss? Grenades, all type of stuff. It's the dumbest thing ever. You know what else is just as dumb? When they're like, no, we can't call Georgia, Florida the world's largest outdoor cocktail party because we have underage people that are going to the game and drinking. Oh, you're right. Those same kids that are thinking that are 18, 19, and 20. I'm not saying I condone this. I'm just telling you what really happens. Who are like, guys, we're going down to Jacksonville, but guess what? We're not going to drink because it's not called the cocktail party. Therefore, we can't drink. It's the dumbest thing ever. We do the dumbest things
Soft,
ever.
man.
We don't know what a guy is. We don't know what a girl is. We can't say cocktail party. Can't say shootout. Imagine if you called it the Red River Cocktail Party Shootout. You would apparently, it'd be chaos. It'd be the apocalypse. It'd be like a mosh pit of sin. I don't know why we do this mental gymnastics. It's the dumbest thing ever. The world's largest cocktail party, outdoor cocktail party, is played between Georgia and Florida. You're not stopping anybody from drinking. That doesn't work. You're not stopping anybody from shooting anybody because you changed the name to the Red River Showdown, which sounds like some battle that was fought in 1587 on some river between some old villagers that used to fight each other. I don't know.
What
but
just happened?
But change it. No, that's what I'm saying. Like the Red River Showdown. Like again, what are you stopping? What are you stopping? Who didn't pick up a gun because you changed the name of it? Nobody did. That doesn't exist. But that was a great job, Con. I think you're exactly right.
Touche.
It's my favorite segment of the week, Con.
Do what?
Favorite segment of the week. Get off my lawn.
Yeah, you agree with
Man,
the.
I love it, yeah.
We need it.
shootout?
Blaine, when are we going to start your segment, Bring Me Your Playbook?
I don't know.
What do we say? Didn't we decide Blaine's segment needs to be Bring Me Your Playbook where he fires somebody
I
every
think so.
week?
Yeah.
Isn't that it? Where you fire someone every week?
Yeah, it's either going to be that or it's mid. But I
Or
think
it's mid?
We kind of went with Bring Me Your Playbook.
I think Bring Me Your Playbook. What do you think? Booster Club, what do you think?
Yeah.
It's mid or Bring Me Your Playbook? We need to
like
add
them both.
Blaine a little
You
segment.
like them
They're
both?
both on brand.
Yeah.
They're very
on brand
I
Blaine.
think so too.
Yeah.
I think so too. Let's go to Sister Riggs. Sister
brand.
Riggs, I hope you had a great birthday this weekend. I don't like company brands on games. I don't like people that get hurt over words. Words only hurt you if you choose to let them. Sister Riggs,
Sticks and
Facts, Sister
stones.
Riggs.
Sticks
that
and
is
stones.
true. Kanye Ron says it's still the largest outdoor cocktail party. Look, I mean, it is.
It is, but they won't say it anymore. Look, you remember that was a big deal a couple years ago. Then you see it with the Red River Shootout. We're starting to have a war on words, and that's not good because that leads to War of the Worlds.
Alicia's action figure frenzy. Say that 5 times fast. So with a $5 donation, thank you so much. She says, soft people with soft feelings, they should stay in their parents' basement and leave regular humans alone.
That's exactly right.
Come on.
Softness is for tissue paper and beds. Those are the two things.
M. Hutton says, bring me your playbook. It is decided. Okay, how
Okay,
do you like
okay.
that?
M.
Okay.
Hutton.
Matthew Roberts says, I vote it's mid, partially because I gave the idea. Okay.
Understandable.
Carson
Understandable.
Everett says playbook for sure. And Cody Nason 95 said, when is there going to be a Daily Wire What is a Woman Bowl?
The What is a Woman Bowl? Played between? Who knows?
Yeah.
Call them what you want.
I don't know.
How do you qualify for that bowl? How would you get in that bowl game?
Yeah.
That's the real question.
Not, I guess, yeah. How would you?
You'd have to check a certain box. That's for sure. I mean, they're dumping mayonnaise all over Shane Beamer, so, you know, at this point. You had the Jimmy Kimmel Bowl. Why does Jimmy Kimmel have a bowl? You remember when he used to be funny? You know what I find hilarious about Jimmy Kimmel? You know, Jimmy Kimmel comes out now and he's like, oh, you know, you can't talk about women like that. Bro, when I grew up, you had a show with Adam Carolla that every time you went to commercial break, girls were jumping on trampolines and bikinis. It was literally the man show.
Yeah.
But you get a pass for that. It's just unbelievably hypocritical.
I had an idea for a bowl game, the Booster Bowl.
The Booster
Did I tell
Bowl.
you guys this yet?
No.
I want to contact Clay Helton, the coach at Georgia Southern.
Okay.
And the head coach at South Alabama.
Okay.
Okay, since you went to South
Kane
Alabama, I'm from Statesboro. Let's have the Georgia Southern and the South Alabama.
What about me, Dave? Do I get anything?
Well, you lived in Mobile. You went to Spanish for it, right?
Okay.
I mean, tell me how we could how we could
I don't
fit
know.
everyone into this.
I'm thinking
The
about it.
Booster Bowl between Georgia Southern and South Alabama.
Just call it the Booster Bowl? I mean, they're in
call it the
same
Booster Bowl. We
conference.
have a little trophy, and the winner of that game gets to keep it.
I'm down with it. Let's do it.
I'm 100% in.
Call Joel.
Where's it at?
Alabama. I'll get it.
Where's it at?
What do you mean?
Where are they going to
You
have
got to
it?
play at the exact halfway point.
Wherever they play, whenever they play during the season, we just call that game the Booster Bowl.
Okay.
You got to play it at exactly the halfway point in between Statesboro and South Alabama. I don't care if it's in the middle of the woods. We'll build a place.
Now you're dictating scheduling stuff, and I love it.
Yeah, well, listen, you gave me permission, so I'm overtaking this.
Okay, good.
I think it's a great idea.
Let's get it through.
All
Let's
right,
go
one more
to
mailbag.
Texas Ed, punter go. The 50-yard line split at the Red River Shootout is better than the cocktail party. The teams have to work from their end of the field into the teeth of the other fan base and vice versa.
I'm down with that. I mean, I think you can make that argument. I like that. Now, you know, some people will make the argument, all right, well, you play that game in the Cotton Bowl, and you play, Kirby Smart's talked about, well, we don't like going down to Jacksonville to play Florida because it's kind of like a home game for them. You know, do I think they should play that game in Jacksonville? This is where I kind of get caught in between because I don't like the neutral site games at the beginning of the year in college football. I feel like you should play home and home. So therefore, can I really be for the neutral site games in the middle of the season?
Man, I'm always for playing these home and homes where the local communities get those games.
Because that's what they thrive on.
For that. At least with the Red River Shootout, the proximity is 50-50. So, you know, they've always met halfway, which I think is interesting. Whereas with the Florida-Georgia game, it pretty much is a home game for Florida. You know, we can get Brandon Boykin on this week and see what's really going on.
I think there's a lot better chance of that game getting moved than the location for the Red River Shootout, just because nobody complains about it. And Kirby has.
Jimbo Eagle says, doesn't Michael Knowles remind you of the human version of Kermit the Frog? Don't do our guy Mike like that.
Mike.
Don't do our guy Mike like that. Let's go to JT Bryan, hashtag Ask Crane & Company. Thoughts on today's game between UCF and SMU?
Oh, we're going to break that down when we get into beds.
Let's go to JJ. What's up, JJ? Says, Georgia is beating Florida easily. Does this game even matter this year?
I don't know, man.
I mean, look, Georgia's got to start playing better. I think they will. I think it was just a little bit of a rough patch, but the one thing you can account for is the athleticism of Anthony Richardson. If anybody can keep a team in the game against a team like Georgia that has those aliens running around, really on the whole team, but especially on defense, is Anthony Richardson, because he's athletic enough to run away from those guys. He still is. It's the truth. Not saying that he could keep Florida close, I think, keep them within striking distance, keep some game pressure on Georgia, and you never know what can happen late, even though I do like Georgia to win.
And it's a rivalry game.
And it's a rivalry
Never count
game.
out a rivalry
Very true.
game. They're going to have athletes on the field, first-year head coach. What we've learned about football is whatever's least likely to happen, that's probably what's going to happen. I'm telling you, man, this one could be sneaky.
Let's go mailbag here, Coney.
Okay. Oh, mailbag, yes.
A little RPO. Oh, it's open on the slant, the nickel bit.
The nickel bit?
Nickel bit? I'm throwing
that slant.
Yeah.
Okay, because we have 4 mailbag questions here, and I'm excited about all of them.
I'm super jacked.
All right, first one here from Justice with a Z. Justice with a Z, okay? Hey, guys, Utah is home against Southern Cal the same week that Little Brother, a.k.a. BYU, is at home against Arkansas. Also, I'm just reading the question.
Okay,
I'm not calling them Little Brother.
Sure you are.
The conduit.
All right, the stadiums are 45 miles apart. I say game day he's talking about College Game Day, should come to Utah at a national location between the two stadiums. There are a few good locations they could do it. Little brother is contracted with ESPN, and the Utah-USC game will be primetime Pac-12, which should be on ESPN too. Double-header game day, thoughts, question mark? Thanks for the top-tier sports show.
Hey, first off, I love that idea.
Thinking outside the box.
I love that. That's thinking outside the box. The only thing I think they'd have a problem with it is that if they did do it halfway, you wouldn't technically be on the campus. I think that's kind of their shtick, is to be on the campus. And I know some places they're further away from the stadium than they're not, but I like that idea. I like that idea a lot.
It's a good idea, which is probably why they...
I've never heard of that idea or thought of, it makes too much sense, so they'll never do it. But that is kind of a halfway, kind of a quadruple dip, if we're talking about fan bases. Hey, you know another thing, do you find yourself as you get older, are you kind of watching game day a little less and less?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. The celebrity guest pickers, you already heard me.
It feels like it's getting worse and worse. Yeah. Like it feels like they're going away from, like, I just remember waking up and being so excited for game day because I can remember hearing the song, right, from Big and Rich. Because, it just, I
don't watch it anymore.
I need more Pollock.
I need
more David Pollock
I need
College
more
Game Day. Get that guy up there.
The McAfee ad, it just looks
More
different
Pollock.
to me. It's like a different vibe to me than it used to be. It used to be kind of, and then
sold
it's like,
out now.
It is sold out. And everybody's like picking something different instead of really picking like what they think. I mean, Desmond Howard's picking like Pittsburgh to make the play. Like, I don't know. It feels like kind of clickbaity now. I don't know. You got Jack Harlow out there just like, hey, what's up? I'm performing. I'm storming. If I was in Oklahoma, I'd probably be in Norman.
Yeah, it's funny. No one in Ohio cares about Jack Harlow.
Yeah.
At all.
Nobody does.
And I'm not surprised. Let's go to, you want some questions?
Yeah, we got
three more. Hold on one second here, because I got one from Brandon, all right? I listen to you guys every day at work. As a mailman, my days can be busy, and you guys bring laughter and more enjoyment to sports every single day.
Appreciate that, Brandon. Thank you for delivering the mail.
We appreciate
My
you.
question is, when the college football playoff expands, should there be a cap on the number of losses for you to make it, like 2 losses, for example?
I like this
If you believe that to be true, would you include a conference champ in this? Let's say a 2-loss Pac-12 champ, so they don't get in. Also, he says, go Buckeyes.
Okay.
Which I actually like that, because I want to make sure that, we're not turning anyone away. Everyone's welcome here.
I do want to say,
deep down, you're like,
first off, Brandon, thank you for what you do. Anybody out there that performs a service like that makes our job, our lives easier, we really appreciate it, man. I need the mail, especially when I win money on DraftKings, because they got to mail me a check. So if you're ever walking around and you got a DraftKings check in there and it's made out to me, I appreciate that, Brandon. Thanks for listening to the show. Also, I don't think they'll put a cap of losses on it. I think it's a great question, because even if you have a 2-loss Pac-12 champ, if the Pac-12 grades out high enough, or I'll just use that as an example, at the end of the year, they need to get that bid. I very rarely will you see a team that has more than 2 losses not only be in a conference championship game, but win that conference championship game. I'm not saying it will never happen. We've seen it before. Hell, I think we've seen teams with 4 losses, even 5 losses sometimes in a conference championship game, depending on what conference and what year. But the odds of, let's say, the dominance team in that conference on one side playing against maybe a weaker team, like if you look at the Big Ten East compared to the Big Ten West, the winner coming out of the Big Ten East, maybe 11-1 on the season. The winner of the Big Ten West may be coming in at 8-4 on the season or somewhere like that. The odds of that 8-4 team beating that 11-1 team aren't great, but it could happen. I don't like a loss cap on it. I think it can make it really interesting at the end of the year, where you have that automatic qualifier for teams that win the conference championship of a conference that grades in the top 6, I believe, right? It's the power top 6 conferences
the
at
way
the end of the
they've
year
talked about
automatically. They're going to adopt that. That's the way they're going to go. But no, that's a great question. 2 really good questions.
I agree with you. All right, next one from Colin. Hey, guys, love the show, and I listen every day. My question is, who are y'all's favorite and least favorite announcers? I also want to say it would be epic if you could add the bow to your sensei quote from Napoleon Dynamite to the soundboard.
Sure.
Rhino, you hear that? Let's get the bow to your sensei quote for Colin on the
Bow
soundboard.
to your sensei. That's a great call, Colin. Thanks for listening.
Favorite, least favorite
to the
announcers.
show. My favorite announcer, I would say, you'd instantly go football, but I wanna pay tribute to Vin Scully, who passed away.
Hey, we got our
this year.
patch up there from our boy Brian, by the way.
Yeah, we got our
Brian
Vin Scully
Hoffman
patch up there. I'd want to go for him, even though he's not living anymore. One of the greatest, if not the greatest, to ever do it. outside of that, when it comes to football, I have to go Tony Romo. I think listening to Tony call games, the way he can give you the insight. It's hard. There are guys that know the game like Tony does, but they can't espouse it the way to an audience like Tony does. It's a gift in itself. Used to saying coaching all the time. It's not what I know. It's what I know that I can get the players to know. I think Tony, and what we try and do on this show, that's why we say win the water cooler. By the way, go get some merch on the website. Check that out as well. But, being able to take those complex football problems or those nuanced situations and explain them onto the audience, making the audience better at watching the game, because the audience loves the game as much as the players do, as much as the coaches do, as much as the broadcasters do. So being able to make them more knowledgeable, being able to bring them even closer to the game is a service all in itself.
He really has become the premier color commentator in the game, and I think Mike Tirico on the play-by-play.
Mike Tirico does really good. Gus Johnson does a really good job.
I love Mike
Timmy B, our buddy Timmy B.
Timmy B, Timmy B, man, going to the Rose Bowl this week for the first time.
For sure.
Last one from Camille. Hey guys, love the show. My grandpa was a huge Yankees fan, and he passed that along to my family. We are all excited about Aaron Judge approaching the single season, now has passed the AL home run record. But I see a lot of people on social media claiming no one cares and it doesn't matter. Why do you think people are pushing that narrative? What are your thoughts? Also, Judge does not look like Reptar.
Oh.
Yeah, he does.
Nah, I can see it both ways. Number one, Camille, thanks for watching the show, and it's we always love hearing stories about who fandom that is passed down. That's what makes it great. When it comes to, we've talked about baseball and trying to not only maintain the popularity that it has, but be able to bring in kind of a new swab of fans. We've seen them try and do different things. They need to do a better job of marketing their stars. But I think this all goes in the bucket of baseball popularity. I think less people care because of a couple reasons. One, baseball has kind of lost its way when it finds what demographic they should be reaching out to. We've talked about that with Ben Shapiro. But number two, you've only got one guy doing it. I think it was a little bit more interesting when you had Mark McGwire and Sammy Sosa in that race, because it was multiple people doing it and it was much more competitive. I think since it's one person, that takes a little bit of the cachet and the steam off of it, not in my eyes, but in a general sense. Even people that aren't really big baseball fans paying as much attention to it because it's not really a race. For example, I don't really love NASCAR. I'm not going to watch 450 laps of a NASCAR race. I'll watch the last two. I'll watch the two guys that have a chance to win, two or three guys that have a chance to win, finish it out at the end.
Yeah.
So I think that it just being one person has a little bit less of effect, but you mix that with baseball kind of, I don't want to say the word dying, but still trying to find itself. It's still baby giraffing after it's born, trying to gain popularity. So I think it's a couple things. But no, congrats to the Yankees franchise to continuing to hold on to that moniker, as Maris did it with the Yankees. Now Judge does it with the Yankees. I guess when you pay the most and have the best players, they're going to hit the most home runs.
Yeah, well, welcome to professional sports. But when were you on social media? Because if you're on social media on that Saturday when they kept putting in Judge during college football games, you're going to get a lot of people saying that they don't care.
Yeah.
A lot of people care more about what's going on in college football than someone breaking a home run record. And I didn't see it really any other time, any other days other than that Saturday where people on social media are just freaking out. But don't buzz Aaron Judge and take away college football.
Yeah.
Well, if you're going to do that, I don't understand why we didn't do that for Albert Pujols too. That I think is an even better argument. Why did we not treat Albert Pujols hitting
Smaller
7
market,
home
man.
runs? I know, but like still, it's such a Albert Pujols is a superstar. It's an international. People know who Albert Pujols is in this country, and probably even in China. Hell, there's even a couple that probably found out in North Korea. They're probably freaking out about it, but they probably found a way. But I do want to talk about it as I head over to the board of friendship, life, loss, love, Blaine Cone, Golden Tumbler, Camille Justice, Brandon, and others. Big game tonight. We have football, a game that
Let's go,
moved.
guys.
Unless,
Come on.
do you want to hit one more mailbag, or are you good on that?
That was it.
That's
I had
it?
Football on a Wednesday.
4 for 4, really good job.
Ready for some action.
Let's talk UCF SMU. Guys, I've looked at this game right now personally, 42-29 against the spread. betting NFL and college. Pretty excited about that. I challenge you gentlemen to find your own individual records and let everybody know. I'm super duper excited. Now that's only football. I'm not talking about baseball, because what happened to me yesterday in the Mets-Nats game and then the Astros-Phillies game, we're not going to talk about, but we don't, that's why we don't bet baseball, right? That's why we feel bad when we have to do it. You either ride with the Nerfies or you die trying. When I look at SMU defensively, guys, they struggle to stop the run. Struggle on defensively really in general, but they struggle to stop the run. Obviously, Sonny Dykes has left to TCU. He took TCU back to SMU. They beat SMU, but this is not TCU. What does UCF do well, guys? It's Gus Malzahn. They run the ball. Top 10 in rushing in the country. SMU struggles to stop the run. UCF runs the ball very well, so SMU is going to do what? Sell out to stop the run. John Reese Plumlee's not the best thrower. Again, they're heavy run to pass. So what does that mean? SMU sells out to stop the run. I don't think they stop the run completely, especially with the quarterback run game, but it opens up the what? It opens up the pass, which opens up the big plays, which in turns will give SMU the ball more. Tanner Mordecai on offense, they throw it around and they're going fast. UCF, top 10 in red zone defense. Shout out our boy T. Will. Top 50 in pass defense. Pretty good, but SMU's great passing team. So here's what I got tonight. The team that can run the ball is the team that can win. UCF, they're -2.5 at -115. I'm going to take a -3 at home in the bounce house. They said it's going to be packed. Aftermath of the hurricane's not going to affect it. They said that's +105. UCF at home after they blew it against Louisville and looked terrible. I know there was a controversial call at the end, but they could not have looked worse against Louisville. They want to make up for that, even after they beat Georgia Tech at home. But Georgia Tech, we know, was falling off a cliff with Jeff Collins. Georgia Tech gets rid of them. They win a game. So give me UCF -3 with John Reese Plumlee fruiting it up, +105. Then give me the over, all right, UCF SMU over 59. Buying it down because I'm taking a plus money bet on the front end. Going to try and play it safer on the back end. UCF SMU over 59. That's -165. We got football back, Cone. Can we go 44-29, which I may already be 44-29. I may be losing my mind. I need to go check it again. But that's what I got.
No, I agree with you. I don't see how there's not a lot of points scored in this game. I bought it down a little further to 57.5, so I'm going to take the over as well. As far as the winner of the game, you know, SMU's interesting because they've lost their last two at Maryland and against TCU, both of those by a single touchdown. And we've seen that Maryland is a serious team this year in the Big Ten, as is TCU.
Yeah.
So they've lost to good teams. I don't know if UCF has been tested as much, but they are at home tonight. So I'm just going to go UCF money line with my second pick at -145.
Okay, nice. Blaine, what are you going with?
Oh, I'm going with, obviously, the over in this game. I mean, why wouldn't you? Both teams are giving up 400-plus yards a game. Give me the over 57.5. I'm going to bet buds you with that, David, if that's okay with you, at -185. Then give me SMU +7.5 at -188. I think this will be a one-possession game at the end of it. I think it'll come down to a last drive in the fourth quarter. One of these teams will probably win by a field goal or 4+.
Can we look up the weather for that game?
Yeah,
Can we look at the weather real quick? When I checked it, I thought it was supposed to be pretty nice night.
Orlando, Florida, baby. It's going to be 85 and sunny.
Woo!
And this was rescheduled from last week.
Yes, rescheduled from last week. That's why we're getting Wednesday Night Football. Remember, Maction doesn't start until November, which pisses me off in ways that I cannot even explain.
I always swear it started earlier.
It should start earlier. It should start earlier. No, I've looked it up. It's November. Now, we get, I think, some Fun Belt maybe a little bit before that, but that's on Wednesday.
Okay.
I'm talking about Tuesday Maction, guys. Also, Baby Cone, he's going to go UCF SMU first half over 28.5. That's at -185. Then he's going to take the UCF TTP, that's total team points, over 32.5 at a very hefty -120. Feeling good, feeling emotional. It's a great time to be alive. I do want to say this. SMU's had a couple players, wide receiver that's caught a couple big passes, and a couple other young guys that have decided to sit out the rest of the season because they are going to be in the transfer portal, which has happened before. This isn't like the first time this has ever happened. You've had guys made the decision to redshirt even before these new transfer portal rules or anything like that. All right, so to the Booster Club leaderboard. Johnson _TC is 5-0, a third of the way to the fame of Hall, the Hall of Fame, the of Fame Hall. Kyle _Kennedy is 3-0. Williams DG is 4-0. Didn't mean to skip him. Kaluski Nathan is 3-0. Midnight Crane to Georgia. Lava Leech, both 2-0. Cones Laser Rocket Arm. The Red Aaron. Revco 250. The Preacher quadruple J, triple B, 2, 3, 4, 5 are 2 D2s. Brother, they're all 1 and 0. Hadn't had somebody hit the Hall of Fame in a while, guys. Told you, maybe that 15 number was right. Maybe that was the right number.
15's tough.
Or 12.
Wait, I thought
12. Yeah,
12.
12's tough. It's not 10
it's
anymore.
10 right now.
Moved it to 12.
We moved it to 12, right?
I think so.
Yeah, we moved it to 12.
It was 8.
It was 8, then we went 10, then we went 12.
Went to 12.
And we talked about going to
I
15.
don't know about 12.
I don't know. I got to go back and read the tablet. I buried it back under the house again.
Threw it like Tom Brady just threw it and broke it. You want to go to a little Justin Decker $5 donation? Justin, can you guys suggest some fantasy players to draft for tonight's game?
Ooh, talking about for the UCF? Let's pull that up. Pull up the daily fantasy. Let's do that for a second. That sounds fun. A little daily fantasy. I mean, obviously, you got to look at John Reese Plumlee, right? You got to start with the quarterbacks, Tanner Mordecai or John Reese Plumlee. The question is, which one do you take? You know, Mordecai's going to throw it, 1,000 times, more times than his name's in the Bible. But then you look at John Reese Plumlee, guy that's going to run it a lot. He's more of a runner than he is a thrower. That's been the big question for him. Will he be good enough down the stretch against teams that are worth their salt on defense to be able to throw it when he has to? How are you on 3rd and 7? How are you in 3rd and 8? I would go John Reese Plumlee because I think when they get down the red zone, he's going to have two rushing touchdowns, maybe 2 passing touchdowns, eat up a lot of yardage. Gus, I think, they've kind of slowed down a little bit, but I think you're still going to see him go pretty fast. You have 2 teams that are going fast. It's basically like trying to intercept codes during a war. It's just everything's flying. You're trying to catch what you can catch. Give me John Reese Plumlee.
All right.
JRP.
I'm still pulling that up. Let's go to TL Rod. Travis Elrod. What's up, man? Hashtag Ask Crane Company. When Texas and Texas A&M start playing each other again, will that be a top 3 rivalry in college football?
It's going to be nuts. If it's anything like they are on social media or off the field, you want to talk about just nastiness.
Yeah, they don't like
we talk about in the Iron Bowl, you talk about pure hate, but there's also respect. We talk about the big game, Ohio State, Michigan. It's pure hate, but there's also respect. I just feel like these two groups just don't like each other. Like it's not even like I respect you and this is like, no, I don't like you. Like you're gross to me. Like you, I don't like the way you smell. I don't like the way you talk. I don't like the way you live your life. I don't like the choices you've made because of all your choices because of one choice. I just feel like they genuinely don't like each other because it's not even like big brother, little brother to me. It's like you guys are both like, the best players in the grade and you just don't like each other and you're both going after the same girl and it's nasty. Like I feel like you hear about the relationships where they break up because they were screaming at each other. Then you hear about the relationships that after they broke up, it's like a Jody Arias situation. Like I feel like this has got some Jody Arias vibes to it.
All right, let's go to Baby Sawyer's dad. He said, what is each of your little pet peeves? What's your pet peeves, guys?
Look,
Just
I
say
like
it, David.
I like the toilet paper roll coming face forward. You can't go. It really matters.
That's nitpicky.
It really
Dave.
matters.
That is so on
That legitimately
brand for
upsets you.
David.
Yeah, like you
Okay.
can't turn it around backwards.
Yeah.
That's not the way it goes.
I cannot stand when people chew with their mouth open.
No, you really can't.
I hate it.
Would you say something?
I hate it. Well, I'll look at you first.
Okay.
Because you should know it as a human on being what you're doing.
You also aren't big on using public restrooms in certain situations.
Yes, I don't like using public restrooms when other people are using public restrooms. If I'm in a public restroom, I like being there by myself. All right. I like the thing about me is like look,
What's
from
wrong with
coaching
you?
and certain things, and you call it the bird's nest. All right, the holy garden. All right, like,
The holy garden.
you find somewhere where no one else really knows, and you go to it, and that's.
Let's just say we're not
that's your
talking about a
area.
urinal. Let's just say that.
Yeah, it's like no,
That's
that
certain
doesn't bother me. What's your pet peeve?
Could I?
What is it? What is it?
No, I want to hear
Go ahead.
Jake's
No,
first.
go.
Yeah, say it.
No. I was gonna read something first, but I want to hear Jake's pet
Okay.
peeve first.
Okay.
My pet peeve, just when people just won't shut up. Like
Yeah.
when I'm watching the game, like listen, like stop asking me a question after every
But
play.
your pet peeve is when people.
Yeah, I was
talk
about to
too
say, you
much
ever heard
shit.
the song "Man in the Mirror"?
No, I'm talking about during the game.
What do they say?
Like when I'm watching the game.
What do they say to you?
Hey, come look at this picture.
Oh, okay. So we know what we're talking about
Hey.
in here.
Hey, pay attention to me.
Oh,
yeah.
So we're not
Now-
talking about out in public.
Yeah,
at a
now
bar.
we're getting-
You're on the home front.
No,
You're in the
that
home-
way
you're
too.
in the
I don't want to
house.
do it out in the bar.
You're in
so
the
I don't go
house.
to the games because I want to be like, hey Jake, what should we do on this play? Hey Jake, what should we do on this play? Or hey Jake, look at this hilarious video of this this dog in this horse meeting for the first time while it's 3rd and 9.
The fact that your answer was, "Hey, come look at this picture," I know you're about to get married.
Yeah.
I know that's what you're going. I know that's what you're
I don't think you got to
in
be
life
Sherlock
right now.
Holmes or Nancy Drew to figure out where I'm coming. You know, but like I said, the greatest part about this job is, guess what? I can look and turn around and say, "I'm sorry, I cannot." Why? Because I'm working.
Working.
Yep.
I'm working.
I wanted to
Working.
read something that I thought you guys might like. I found this on Reddit yesterday. The
Okay.
title is "Conspiracy Theory: Alabama is not an actual school. It's just a football team." They go on to write, "I don't think Alabama truly exists as a school. There are no classes. If you somehow break into one of the buildings on quote-unquote campus, you'll find dusty storage room with used jock straps and satanic altars to Bear Bryant's demon ghost. I have met so damn many Alabama fans. Roll Tide, they say. If you ask them what year they graduated, they will usually hit you with the, I ain't never been to college." Like, that's the most ridiculous thing they've ever heard. I live and work in the South. I've interacted with fans of every other SEC team, and most of them have actually attended the university they root for. I have never, not once, met an Alabama fan who went to Alabama. The school isn't real, and because of this ongoing farce, they should have all wins vacated for the last century, and a team of priests need to attempt an exorcism on Bear Bryant's demon ghost. Thank you for your time. It then goes on to say at the bottom, edit. There are some very humble gentlemen visiting me right now. Every word I've said is unjust. May God have mercy on my soul, and may the elephants trample me if I transgress again.
Yeah, you got the Men in Black coming to get you. But let's be honest, is Alabama really the Truman Show? Is it really just the Truman Show?
No, it's a real
where
thing,
they trick
guys.
football players to come in there and they just put up this this fake city, like this fake thing that goes on all the time?
I wish it was. I've sat in classes there.
You sat in classes there?
Yeah.
I love how
Why did you
you
sit
didn't
in
go to
classes
class.
at
there.
Alabama?
No, my girlfriend's there. She wanted me to come sit in a couple. My ex-girlfriend wanted me to come sit with some.
Did you
classes
learn
there.
anything?
No.
Wait a minute.
gonna say, that's free
Wait a minute.
education.
Wait a minute.
Yeah.
So you took time in a class that you weren't even in to go down and sit in class?
She wanted me to come sit with her in class.
Oh, I've never. No, I am in class for the minimum amount of time that I have to be in there. Listen, I don't care if they're inventing some sort of element 115 in there. I am not taking time out of my day to go sit in a classroom when I don't have to.
What class was it?
What class was it?
Now, you want to know how much I wasn't paying attention? I don't know. I was just on my phone playing Clash of Clans because Clash of Clans was a thing back in the day.
Oh man, I am not going to class like that. Not me.
Sometimes, I mean, make some sacrifices in relationships. You know, it's not always
Not
about
sitting
you.
in class. Look, I'll do a
big
lot for you. I love you a lot. You know what I'm saying? I'll go out there. I'll take the trash out. I'll Swiffer the floor. I'll take care of the dogs. Hell, I'll even look at the picture on 3rd and 9 sometimes. But I will not go sit in the classroom and have to learn when I'm not obligated to be there. I'm not paying to be there.
All right, let's go back to Jake's khakis. And this is why I don't like going to public restrooms. I usually make weird noises in public restrooms just to make people as uncomfortable as possible.
Wow. That's who we have in the chat.
Like,
That's who we have in the booster club.
Yes!
You know?
Yes. That is it. You know what? That's the comedy that he thought that would never get out. He thought he'd never be, but he enjoyed it. So
Why?
You know how you enjoy
Why?
something?
Because he's in the trust tree.
That's exactly right.
That's why.
You
He's
just-
here in the trust
You're
tree.
here.
He knows
You're
he's
here.
in a safe
He's
space.
connected, Blaine.
He's
All
in a
right,
what?
can we
What?
see it?
What'd you call it? The heaven of the what heaven?
Garden?
The garden.
The holy garden.
The holy garden. He's
The
in
holy garden.
He's in the holy
You gotta
garden
find your
here.
holy garden.
You gotta find it. There's nothing like it. Let's go to Baby Sora's dad. Says, if my boys win their next 2 games, they will be the first middle school football team in our town to go undefeated. I think it's because you gave them a Let's Go Panthers. Thanks, guys.
Look, it's we tried to sprinkle a little dust on him. By the way, I heard there's a 6'3", 300-pound 9-year-old y'all may want to recruit to stay undefeated. Imagine how big he's gonna be when he's 10.
All right, let's go to Lucky Bird. Says, I have friends who want me to finally explain football during postseason play. Nope, not going to happen.
Yeah.
Find someone else to hold your hand and talk your way through a game.
Yeah, look, look, do I look like an Etch-a-Sketch to you? Are you gonna shake me and I'm gonna disappear and you can just draw me in whatever angles you want? I'm not an Etch-a-Sketch. Don't ask me stupid questions at important times.
All right, let's go to Emmanuel C. Hashtag Ask Crane and Company. Speaking of intense rivalries, as AU fans, was that guy that called in admitting poison in the trees the craziest moment in Iron Bowl history? Look, I remember wish bad things on anybody except 2 people. The guy who stole my car and the dude who poisoned the trees. I wish bad people bad.
Again, I'll say that it was one of the craziest moments ever in the rivalry. There's been crazy moments, but that was one of the ones that was just over the top. Like that's that's too much. Like, because there is a respect level between Auburn and Alabama fans. And just like Nick Saban said, just like most Alabama fans will tell you, that is not a representation, really, of the Alabama fan base. But is it, though? You know, I mean, there's been a lot of questions. I don't know. There's still, I think there's still like a white paper out on it. They're doing research and doing the numbers. I'm thinking, you know, maybe 30, 35%.
He had too much Bama in him, he said. That's what he said.
Yeah.
What was his name again?
They're just Harvey Updike.
Harvey Updike.
Because of course it is.
Harvey Updike.
Former sheriff in Texas. Who y'all hiring?
Daughter's name Ali Saban. Poor girl.
Yeah. That's
Guys, I'm not easily whipped too because I went to some classes. Like,
I mean, I don't know.
pump the brakes. These hands are rated E for everyone.
What's getting said in the chat? Sounds personal.
Seems like you're catching some heat in there.
It's not.
Your
Let me see.
transgressions.
Let me go back. Who said? I believe it was Justin Decker. First of all, Colleen Houston said, Blaine sounds like he was whipped if you went to class he wasn't enrolled in. No, it's not true. She's going through some things, and she wanted me to come to class with her.
Blaine's
so
like
I
the
went to
guy from
class with her.
Accepted. He's just in there. Just
Which one? Which one from Accepted?
Justin Long. I forgot his name on the main guy.
Yeah, the main
It's
guy.
a great movie. But.
It is a great movie. One of Jonah Hill's best. But we appreciate the booster. Poll, real quick.
Oh,
All right.
Poll.
Who will win the World Series this year?
Look.
Braves, Yankees, or other?
I'm going to say, because I know the chat, give me Braves 41%.
man, there's a lot of Braves fans in there, but there's a lot of Dodgers fans in there too.
Yeah.
Astros. I'll go with the Braves at 40%.
Yankees, 22%.
Nah, get out of here.
Braves,
Yeah.
37%.
Okay.
Other, 41%.
Oh,
It was at 41.
Hey.
The number was 49.
Yeah.
Though?
Look, Dodgers and Astros, they're good teams.
Nope.
You know, if
No,
Phillies are
smart
good,
to take the field.
Phillies, Mets,
Blue Jays, who knows?
Look, it's
God,
gonna
what if the
be-
Mets win it?
Dude,
Blue
it's
Jays,
gonna
who
be. They
knows?
could. I'm telling you, man. When your 1-2 is Scherzer and DeGrom.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Reed just texted me and said, so glad I'm your pet peeve. Reed, that's not.
You're in trouble.
Oh,
No.
this is over.
No.
He was definitely talking about you.
No.
He was
No one-
definitely
That's
talking
not,
about you.
guys. I was saying in general.
No.
Reed really doesn't do
No.
that.
No one can say.
Actually, let's rewind. This is
It's live.
this show isn't live, right?
No, we do it
I'm
live.
already
recorded,
going to
edited
be
out.
paying the price.
Yeah.
It's not even 9 in the morning.
Yeah.
Yep.
You know
It's
what? I
not.
come out here and I just say things.
You can only blame
sometimes.
yourself.
No,
You
and
said it.
I'm talking about people like at parties watching college football
No,
and
you're
stuff
not.
like that. All right, anyways, make sure you like and subscribe. We appreciate you guys joining us. Shout out to the Booster Club. Got a great show tomorrow. Tom Luganbill is going to join us. UCF, SMU tonight. Check out those bets. Let's see if we can stay hot. And like the chances of me not getting berated on the phone the minute the show ends, we're going. Gone.